This is the story of a president who was supposed to disappear. Platforms closed their doors, institutions distanced themselves, and headlines declared the end of his influence. Yet somehow, his presence only grew stronger. In the first moments of this video, what matters is not who he is, but why a political figure can lose access to power and still dominate attention. This is not a campaign story, it is a system story. Years before bans and backlash, the president understood something most leaders ignored. In the digital age, attention is the raw material that money, media, and influence are built on. Whoever controls attention controls the narrative, and whoever controls the narrative controls momentum. While others tried to sound reasonable, he chose to sound unavoidable. Every message was designed to interrupt, not to persuade, but to provoke a response. Supporters reacted. Critics reacted harder. Media reacted fastest. The system did the rest. Algorithms detected sustained engagement and pushed the content further, not because it agreed, but because people could not stop watching. This is where the story shifts from politics to economics. Attention is traded like a financial asset. High emotion equals high value. Calm messages depreciate quickly. Controversy compounds. The president treated communication like a speculative market, accepting risk in exchange for reach. When restrictions finally arrived, many assumed visibility would collapse. Instead, scarcity increased demand. Silence created curiosity. Absence created mystery. Each mention felt heavier than before. The president no longer needed constant exposure. The system remembered him. This is the moment where the story stops being about speeches and starts being about architecture. A political figure aligned himself with the deepest incentives of technology and human behavior, and the system rewarded him automatically. Behind every viral moment sits an invisible contract between platforms and profit. Digital systems are not neutral observers. They are machines optimized for attention. The longer people stay, the more valuable they become. Conflict keeps people inside the system longer than agreement ever could. The president understood this instinctively. He did not chase approval, he chased reaction. Each statement created two markets at once, one market of defense and one market of outrage. Both markets generate clicks, comments, and watch time. Algorithms do not distinguish between loyalty and anger. They only measure intensity. Media organizations became part of the cycle. Condemnation produced headlines. Headlines produced views. Views produced revenue. Even resistance became monetized. The president turned opposition into fuel without needing cooperation. The system translated attention into money automatically. When platforms attempted to cut access, the economics backfired. Removing supply did not remove interest. It concentrated it. Mentions became rare and therefore more valuable. Rumors traveled faster than statements. Each reappearance felt amplified. This is a classic financial pattern. Restrict an asset while demand remains and its perceived value rises. The political figure became a scarce commodity inside the attention market. Scarcity created leverage. At this point, something deeper occurred. The system began relying on the very volatility it claimed to control. Engagement spiked when his presence returned. Silence lowered activity. The algorithm adapted. What looked like resistance was actually reinforcement. The president did not need platforms to support him. He only needed people to react. And people always react when money, power, and identity collide. Algorithms are often described as intelligent, but they are not thoughtful. They are responsive. They observe patterns and reward the ones that keep users engaged. Over time, the president's behavior trained the system. His presence became a signal for activity. In financial markets, volatility attracts traders because movement creates opportunity. The president behaved like a volatile asset, unstable, unpredictable, but impossible to ignore. Each message caused fluctuations across media, politics, and public opinion. Algorithms prioritized those fluctuations. Other figures attempted to replicate this style and failed. They hesitated. They softened language. The system punished inconsistency. Algorithms reward commitment, even when it is controversial. The president never retreated. Every response reinforced the same identity. Eventually, the man transformed into a mechanism. Mentions triggered reactions automatically. Clips circulated without context. Silence itself generated speculation. The system no longer needed constant input. The pattern was established. At this stage, removal becomes structurally difficult. Platforms lose engagement without the volatility. Media loses narratives. Audiences lose conflict. The system resists change, not out of loyalty, but out of dependence. This is the hidden truth. The president does not dominate despite the algorithm. He dominates because he aligns with it. The system amplifies whatever humans cannot stop reacting to. He understood that early and accepted the consequences fully. The final realization is uncomfortable. The system is not malfunctioning, it is optimized. Attention is the currency. Reaction is the engine. Money follows both. The president did not exploit a flaw. He became the ideal input. This story is not a warning about one political figure. It is a warning about what digital power rewards. Loudness over nuance. Conflict over resolution. Performance over substance. As long as engagement defines value, Figures who divide will dominate visibility. Attempts to fix this with moderation treat symptoms, not incentives. Platforms grow when people argue. Media profits when emotions spike. The system selects for those who generate friction. The president is not an exception. He is a prototype. Others will follow the same path across politics, finance, and culture. Different names, same mechanics. Until attention stops being monetized at scale, the algorithm will continue to elevate those who understand how to turn controversy into capital. This story does not end with one man. It ends with a question. In a world where attention equals power, who truly controls the system? If this story changed the way you see power, don't forget to subscribe.